So today we are looking at drawing straight line graphs, okay? But there are two things you really need to be sharp with before we look at this. First one being substitution, second one being plotting coordinates on each of the four quadrants. Okay, so make sure you're good at those and have a look at the videos before tackling this if you're a bit unsure. So let's draw a straight line graph then based upon this equation here, okay? So I've got y equals 2x plus 5. We'll concentrate the table first and then we'll look at plotting the point. So if we have our x values here, we have x is minus 2, or y will then be 1. When we've got x is minus 1, we don't have a y value. So obviously we've got to fill in this table, okay? Complete the table, 3 values, and we get 2 marks, just for doing a bit of substitution. Now I'm going to start on the right hand side, okay? Reason being, you'll see they're positive values, okay? When we're doing substitution, if we start with the negatives and we start getting them wrong and don't quite feel right, we're not going to be able to finish the rest of the question, okay? So let's make it a little bit easier for us. Start on the right-hand side where the bigger values are. So if x is 2, then here in this equation here, well, if x is 2, then that means 2 lots of 2. Well, 2 2s are 4, plus the 5 is 9. Okay, so just to show you what I've done there, if I've got y equals 2x plus 5, remember, it's the same equation for each of these coordinates. If x is 2, then that means I've got 2 lots of 2. Remember that imaginary times sign between the 2 and the x. And then add 5 on the end. Well, 2 times 2 is 4, plus 5 is 9. Okay, so bearing that in mind, if x is now 1, this 2 will change for a 1. So 2 lots of 1 is 2, add the 5 is 7. So we've concentrated on our positive values. Now look at the negative. Well, if x is minus 1, 2 lots of minus 1 is minus 2. Then we have to add the 5. Okay, so then to add the 5 becomes 3. Now some of you might be looking at that and going, oh, I thought it was 7. Okay, if we're on minus 2, think of the number line, on minus 2 and then 5 steps to the right, it gives an answer of 3. Even think temperature. If it's minus 2, it's really cold. And if it gets 5 degrees warmer, it's then going to be 3. It can't be minus 7 because minus 7 is colder than minus 2. We've now filled in our table. That's 2 marks in the bag. Thank you very much. We now need to plot some points. Now, we are used to seeing coordinates in this way, okay? However, this left value is our x value, and this right-hand side value is our y value. Remember that saying, across the corridor, up the stairs. So as long as we've got a value for x and a value for y, we can plot a coordinate. So here we have an x value of 2 and a y value of 9. So our coordinate would then be 2, 9. Here we have an x value of 1 and a y value of 7. Okay, so as you can see now, we've now got our coordinates, minus 1, 3, and then minus 2, 1. We have 5 coordinates. So then on our 4-quadrant graph here, we can easily plot these points. So at minus 2, we need to go to 1. So minus 2, 1, draw across, minus 1, 3, 0, 5, 1, 7, and then 2, 9. You'll notice they are all in a straight line because, of course, it is a straight line graph. Okay, you should be able to then get a ruler, and then they'll all be in a nice straight line. Be careful, take a bit of time being accurate. We then need to join them up, and what I'm even going to do then, I'm going to label the line just to show that that is the name of that straight line there, okay? So y equals 2x plus 5. There's a straight line graph, okay? But let's go into it a little bit further, okay? I will do another video on this, but let's look at these numbers, okay? I've got a plus 5 here. Looking at that graph, can we see a positive 5 somewhere? It is there, okay? It is where it is intercepted that y-axis there, okay? That word intercept. Those of you that are watching this that have seen rugby matches or even played rugby, think of the back line. If the ball's being passed through and someone catches the ball on the other team as they're passing, we call it an interception. Okay? Or if they're playing hockey, ball's passed to someone else on their team and another person comes in from the opposite team to steal it away, they have intercepted. So this line is intercepting through this y-axis. Also, look at how steep, okay? Look how steep this line is. For one value across here, okay, 2 squares for one value, we have gone up 2. So for one value across, we've gone 2 values up, okay? This steepness we know as the word gradient, okay? So the gradient for this will be 2, because one value across, it goes 2 squares up. So with this y equals 2x plus 5, this plus 5 is our intercept, and this 2 here is the gradient, which means steepness. Okay, straight line graphs, substitution, fill the table, start on the right hand side, plot the points, join with a straight line. If you put your ruler across and they're not quite in the straight line, one might be slightly out, then your mistake is substitution. Check your substitution and then you should find they'll all be in a straight line. Have a good practice and hope it helps.